Introducing the first video of 2023. Hey guys, it's Willow and welcome back to my channel. This week's video is a New Year special where I'm going to be drawing some old art and also going through some of my art and YouTube goals for 2023. So the piece I'm going to be redrawing today is from May, so that's almost 8 months ago. I definitely didn't just spend that long calculating it. So it's not been exactly 1 year, but it's still been long enough to see big improvements in my art, I think. The name of this character is Juniper, or June for short, and I haven't developed a backstory for her yet, but her personality is that she likes gardening, and yeah, that's all I've got so far. I have a bit of character designing to do here. So I've already done the line art and the sketch. Well, the sketch and then the line art. And I'm just going to go straight in with the colouring. To colour her skin, I'm using rose beige and terracotta from the Ohuhu 48 colour set. They're the colours I used for the original drawing because I didn't have the skin tone pack at the time. So she's wearing a stripy green long sleeve top, and each stripe is like a different shade of green. I did change the design of the shirt very slightly. In the original, the stripes were 3 different shades of green and they kept repeating, but I added an extra colour in to make the transition more seamless. Looking back, I don't really think it was necessary and it didn't really add anything to the drawing, but yeah. She's also wearing this overall skirt, dungarees kind of thing, and just to make the outfit a little bit more interesting, I went a bit further with the leaf design that you can see I've got at the bottom of the skirt, and I put a leaf on the front of her overall dungaree skirt thing as well. I wasn't able to get that much detail with the face because I did a full body drawing to show her full design, so I had to shrink everything down a little bit. I think one of the advantages of having a larger sketchbook is that you can draw full body drawings and still get more detail in with the face and stuff. Because I feel like when I have a smaller sketchbook, I'm more inclined to draw just the face, and then I'm not practicing as much anatomy, which I really should be doing. Speaking of sketchbooks, I think I'm roughly around 3/4 of the way through my sketchbook, maybe a little bit less, but hopefully I'll have a sketchbook tour coming out in the near future, so you have that to look forward to. Lately, I've had a lot of video ideas, so hopefully I won't run out of ideas anytime soon. But although I have a lot of ideas, I do not have the motivation to do them. I know I said I would try and make some more videos during the holiday, but that did not happen. And I was planning to make like an extra video that I could have in reserve in case I have a busy week where I can't post anything. But you know what? Let's just say that's my workflow, editing videos like 1 hour before I post them. And also, before I forget, I'd like to say thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I swear I was on like 100 subscribers last week or something. It still feels like I started my channel like really recently, but it's so cool that we're already past 200 subscribers, and I'm really grateful to all of you who watch my videos and have subscribed. I'm going to be doing a 200 subscribers Q&A, so at some point I'll be doing a community post where you guys can ask me any questions that you'd like me to answer in that video. And I know this seems like a while ago, or at least it does to me, but my 100 subscribers Draw This in Your Style contest is still open, not for very long though. It closes on the 9th of January, so if you want to enter that, you can still do that, there's still time, and the new deadline is on the 9th. I can't really pinpoint what this character's expression is that I'm drawing. I feel like it can be seen as a sympathetic, like just kind of curious girl, or it can also be seen as like cynical, like I feel like it's kind of sarcastic. Like maybe she's asking you what's wrong, but like not really meaning it. I'm kind of getting that vibe from her, and it wasn't intentional, but you know, maybe she could be a really mean character. It's still a possibility. Or she could just be a nice, curious girl who likes to garden. I'm still deciding on that. I used a purple marker shade, which I think looks really cool and adds some depth, but I don't do it often because I always forget and just end up using like a darker colour of the original colour. But it's something I want to get into the habit of doing and incorporate into my art style. I think it works better with digital art though, because you can use the multiply layer, I think it is, and it's a really cool effect. And speaking of digital art, I recently got an iPad, so I'm going to be able to do a lot more digital art. The only digital art I've really done has been on my phone with my finger on IBIS Paint or IBIS Paint X. I don't know how to pronounce it. And the only proper piece I've done is my profile picture, which I just sketched on in my sketchbook and then took a photo and then uploaded it to IBIS Paint X and then coloured digitally. But now that I've got my iPad, I think I'm going to start getting into digital art, and I've already made a few drawings which I really like. So if it's something you guys are interested in, I can do a video where I'm kind of exploring the app and just trying out digital art. So yeah, I'm going to try to make a new profile picture as well, because it's not that I don't like my current one, but it's kind of random. It was just a spur of the moment kind of, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and then I just randomly made a profile picture thing. So I want to make one that reflects my channel a bit more and my art style. Okay, so about the drawing, as you can see, I added some mud on the overall skirt denim kind of thing. It was on the original drawing as well, and I thought it was a nice touch, so I just added it again. And I also added a blue square as a background, well, a blue rectangle. I actually really like the old background where it was a window, because I don't know why, I just really like that. I feel like it's pretty original or unique. But for this one, I just kept it a bit more simple and did a square, and then I added some, I think it was white or blue colouring pencil. Oh yeah, it must have been blue, because I felt like it was a bit too desaturated, so I added that to liven it up a bit. I am also adding some letters down the side that say redrawing old art, and I was contemplating whether to leave one letter, well, every fourth letter white, because I feel like it looks nice, but then I went in with the dark green anyway, but I kind of preferred it white. It's not a big deal. Sometimes I just waste time thinking about the tiniest things that really don't make a difference. Like this, for example. Yes, and this is where I break open a new white gel pen, because I've had my current one for quite a while and it's kind of drying out. Well, not drying out, but I can't really get a consistent juicy line. And also I'm going back to the daisies and using a darker yellow to make it more prominent, because before the inside bits were basically non-existent. And the new white gel pen made such a difference. I forgot what it was like to have such a smooth white gel pen that actually works when you want it to. I added the white outline so that the character would pop from the background, and I just put daisies in the background to fill space and make the page look more complete. This video is a longer video, by the way, as I'm sure you've noticed, because I just wanted to switch up a bit, because I know a lot of you might like drawing along to videos, and it's more helpful when they're longer so that you don't have to keep changing between videos. Not gonna lie though, I'm kind of running out of things to say in this voiceover. So if any of you guys have any suggestions for things for me to talk about, I did make a community post asking you guys to give me your ideas so I don't run out of things to talk about. So that would be much appreciated if you do have anything that you'd like to hear me talk about. I messed up on the eyes a bit, which I think I have a tendency to do. It's usually when I'm adding highlights, because in my art style I don't do pupils because I feel like it looks a bit creepy. So when I add highlights, it kind of looks like the pupils, and then it looks like they're looking in the direction of the highlights, which is not what I want, but I have to kind of go with it. So if I end up putting the highlights in the wrong place, it can give them a totally different look than I'm going for. And that's the main reason why I usually go wrong at the eyes. I added some shading around the daisies so that you could see them more, and around the letters as well. And I blended out the grey with a colourless blender. I feel like the colourless blender sometimes makes the page transparent though, so you can almost see what's on the other side. But I think that usually disappears over time. Also, I forgot to do the daisies around her hair, which I thought was a really nice detail, so I went back and added them in. And then just to finish up this page, I'm going back in with a purple marker to deepen up some of the shading. I think that she turned out really well, and although I wasn't able to get that much detail in, as I said, I think it's definitely an improvement from the original character. You can definitely tell I know what I'm doing a bit more. So yeah, I think the redraw was a success. And now we are finally moving over to the next page, where I'm going to be writing my art goals and my YouTube goals for 2023. If you've made it this far, by the way, comment this emoji for a shout out next video. And here are the shout outs from my last video. So I'm doing a green rectangle for me to write my art goals in, and then I'm doing a darker green box to write my YouTube goals in underneath. This part was such a struggle getting the boxes even because the markers kept expanding and stuff, and at the end I don't think I managed to get them even, but it's close enough. And I kind of leaned into the whole wonky aspect at the end. This bit might make some of you a little bit dizzy, so sorry about that. It also took a lot of effort in getting the boxes not patchy because they're such large boxes. I mean rectangles, I don't know why I'm calling them boxes. And at the bottom, to fill some space, I'm writing 2023. I got very lucky because I was about to write 2022. Oh yeah, I was going to do a gradient from dark green to light green on the 2023, but I guess I just forgot about that. And I'm also adding some green stars everywhere to fill the space and to match the colour scheme. They were a little bit more random than I would have liked, but I think I fixed them at the end. And now finally onto my art goals for 2023. So my first art goal is to improve my digital art, which I've already talked a bit about. I want to experiment with the way I do colouring and line art. And my second art goal is to learn how to paint with gouache or improve my watercolour painting, or both. I just want to get into painting more, maybe do some more painting in my sketchbook because I think it's just very relaxing and I just want to get into doing that. Also, I'm sorry about my handwriting, it's a bit weird in this. I think it's because I was writing on marker which hadn't properly dried, so that's why the pen was expanding a bit and it looks a bit messy. My next art goal is to improve how I draw and colour hair, and lots of art YouTubers are doing hair tutorials right now, so hopefully that will help me out a bit. I want to come up with my own way of colouring and drawing hair as well. I obviously also want to improve anatomy, which I've done a lot from the start of the year, but that's probably my biggest goal. I still need to work on that. And my last goal is to experiment more in my sketchbooks and work on the composition of my pages a bit more. And now we're moving on to my YouTube goals for 2023. My first goal is to reach 1k subscribers by the end of the year. I think that it's possible because I got 200 subscribers in 2 months, so hopefully I'll be able to get there. And it would be so amazing if we got to 1,000 subscribers. And my next goal is to make more real-time videos, like where you draw and talk at the same time. I haven't done any of those yet, and I'm a bit nervous because I don't really know how to edit those yet. But hopefully I'll be able to do more of those in the upcoming year. My next goal is to be more adventurous with my editing and just make them more interesting to watch. And finally, my last YouTube goal for 2023, which you can see I was thinking about for a bit, is to have a consistent thumbnail style. My thumbnails are all over the place, so I really want to work on that, and I have a lot of YouTubers who I look up to in terms of their thumbnails, and I just want to create a style which I'm doing more consistently. And that's all for my goals for 2023. I'm using some washi tape that I have to make it look like it's paper that's been stuck on to my sketchbook, even though I just drew the rectangles with markers. I think that this washi tape actually matched the colour scheme really well, surprisingly, because I didn't plan it. Oh, and that reminds me, in terms of improving and experimenting more in my sketchbooks, I want to use some different mediums and like collage in them a bit more. I added some sort of shading with my green marker to the Happy New Year. And I think that green marker is almost running out, which is quite sad, but oh well, because there's lots of green markers that basically look exactly the same. And I also outlined the washi tape and the rectangles so that they stand out a bit more. As you can see, I'm kind of making it wobbly, half on purpose, half by accident, because my first line was a bit wobbly. I always just outline everything if something's not looking that good, because I think it always just makes the page look a bit better and more complete. I'm not really that big of a fan of how the 2023 turned out though. It doesn't look as finished as everything else, but it's okay. I also used my thinnest line art pen to add some stars everywhere where there was a gap basically, to once again fill the space a little bit more. And the Happy New Year was looking a bit thinner than everything else, so I went with my black marker and outlined the letters, but it wasn't very consistent because it was a brush marker, so I wasn't able to get the same thickness for the whole letter, which made it look a bit messy, which I didn't like. So I went in with some fineliners again and added some lines around the letters to make it look a bit more busy and chaotic and look like the unevenness was done on purpose. And I think that did the trick. It added some sort of motion to the letters and some energy to the entire page. So there's a tip: if anything ever goes wrong in your sketchbook, just add some random lines everywhere. And I'm also just finishing up the daisies, which I did with my white gel pen. And with that, the spread is finished. I think it turned out really nice, and I like how cohesive the whole spread is because of the colour scheme. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to complete every single one of these art goals, but I guess next year, at the end of 2023, I'll be able to look back and maybe make a video on whether I managed to achieve all of these goals and maybe make up some new goals for 2024. If you guys have any art goals or YouTube goals for the year, let us know in the comments of this video, or let me know if you have some of these goals as well. And yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that long one, and if you were drawing along, I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about my goals for 2023 and redraw some of my old art. I hope you guys have a great 2023. I feel like I've said 2023 so many times now. And fulfill all of your art goals for the year. And I can't wait to keep making more videos for you guys. Bye!